Hey y'all, this is just me talking, but to me there's nothing more disheartening than putting work into something, having an idea about something, putting in all this effort and all this energy on a project only to be told that you're not gonna be the one to finish it. It is gonna get finished, just you're not what they're looking for, or you're not gonna be the one to finish it, or anything like that. That'd be so disheartening to me to put in all that energy and then to be told basically that I'm not good enough. But that's not exclusive to today. There's times even in the Bible when that is said. And maybe yet look at how these men have responded to that. If you would turn with me to 1 Chronicle 28:2. Again, that's 1 Chronicle 28:2. Then King David wrote to the feet and said, Hear me, my brethren and my people. I had in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and for the foot door of our God, and had made preparations to build it. So he's been preparing, he's made preparations, he's done all these things. But God said to me, You shall not build a house for my name, because you have been a man of war, and have shed blood. Now, hold on just a minute. Because you have been a man of war and shed blood. Now, the Bible doesn't say this outright, but I say that everything that King David's done up to this point, indeed with the man of war stuff, everything that he's done in that area up to this point has been under the protection of God, has been under the protection and the direction of God. But yet, God says, You shall not build a house for me, because you've been a man of war, and have shed blood. However, the Lord God of Israel chose me above all the house of my father to be king of Israel forever. For he had chosen Judah to be ruler, and of the house of Judah, the house of my father, and above the sons of my father, he was pleased with me to make me king over Israel. So, we see God's not mad. We see God's not mad at David. He just doesn't want to build a temple. Yes, go on. And of all my sons, for the Lord has given me many sons, he had chosen my son, Solomon, to sit on the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. Now he has said to me, this is God speaking, he has said to me, It is your son, Solomon, who shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Moreover, I will establish his kingdom forever, if he is steadfast to observe my commandments and my judgment as it is this day. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you can put, and this didn't stop David from giving from giving what he had for the kingdom of God, even though he wasn't even gonna see it. He wasn't gonna be the one to build it. Sometimes, as hard as it is to hear, sometimes your role is just to clear the way for someone else. As hard as it can be to hear sometimes your role in the story is just to clear the way for someone else. Just to just to build someone else up, just to raise someone else up, and to swallow your pride, and just say, hey, you know what? I I made preparation for this, I know, but at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's it's about God and what He wants and what He desires. And I mean, David could have thought what God said. Well, I say he could have thought, but he'd have yacht. He could have tried to argue with God of what he said. He could have tried to argue, but Lord, I was a man of war for you. I was a man of war in your name. But yet you say, I'll never be able to behold your temple. You say, because I followed everything that you've given me, I I won't be able to see your temple? But David is such a man of God, a man of faith, that he swallows his pride. He swallows his pride and he begins to build up his son. He said to his son, now therefore in the sight of all Israel, the assembly of the Lord and the inheritance of our God, be careful to seek out all the commandments of the Lord your God, that you may possess his good land, and leave it as inheritance for your children after you, forever. As for you, my son Solomon, know the God of your father, and serve him with a loyal heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord judges all hearts and understands the intent of the thought. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. Consider now, for the Lord has chosen you to build a house for the sanctuary. Be strong and do it. Then David gave his son Solomon the plan for the vestibule, its houses, the treasuries, its upper chambers, its inner chambers, and the place of the mercy seat, and the plans for all he had by spirit of the courts of the house of the Lord, of all the chambers all round, of the treasury of the house of God, and of the treasuries for the dedicated things. He swallowed his pride. He knew that this was going to get done. He accepted it. And that's ultimately what he wanted. He wanted to bring the glory to God. And he really didn't care who did it. I mean, he thought he'd be the one to do it. Because he came up with the idea to do it. But ultimately he wasn't. This is a great example. Sometimes your role is to just lay the groundwork for someone else. And if you're truly of God, and you truly desire the work of God over all else, you'll obey everything He says. You won't you won't try to argue with Him, you won't try to get the glory. Your pride won't get in the way. You'll drop your pride, and in an act of humbleness, you'll fall down before the feet of God. You'll say, God, this isn't exactly how I expected it to go, but I know you've got a plan for the next generation. I know what my role is, and I'm gonna serve you in, in spite of what you've just told me. I'm gonna serve you and the next generation as faithfully as I can. Sometimes that's just your role. And I think, thinking about it now, I think David was the only one that could have cleared the way for the old temple. Because you just saw beforehand, Saul did God's commandments in a halfway thing. The time he was told to wipe out all of the Amorites, but instead he upped the cattle and the king of the Amorites. He did not do to the Yeddo what God had commanded him to do. But David did. And sometimes that's just your role. And sometimes God gives you that role because He knows you'll be the only one who can do it. He knows because He put you in such a place as this for such time as this. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it can be hard to hear when you have to go on the back burner for a while. But ultimately, it is not about you. It's all about God and what He desires. And what He desires is perfect. What He desires will fill you to the utmost. What He desires will never falter because He will never falter. He'll never leave you. I mean, He knows what capable hand His plan has got to be in. So you don't really have anything to worry about. Because God's not going to forget you. God's not going to forget your sacrifice. God's not going to forget anything like that. God still called David a man after his own heart. And all because he was faithful. And all because he was willing to set aside his pride for the sake of the kingdom. That's what all Christians should do. It's easier said than done, believe me. But if you're willing, God will give you the strength to do just that. Guys, I love you. God bless you. I'll see you next week.